Good morning, everyone. Welcome to The Present Lawyer, Mindfulness with Mick, our summer session. We've moved to Wednesdays to give some space to everybody for their Fridays in the summer. So it's really wonderful to see everyone. I want to just, I think I know most of you. I'm Laurie Gilbertson. I'm the Executive Director of Legal Entrepreneurs for Justice. And we started this series during Lawyer Wellbeing Week back in May. To really try to harness some of the wonderful tools and resources that are there to help lawyers get some more present time and mindfulness and calm and reflection, both in their personal and their professional lives, because it's such a huge part of how we do our work and what we do outside of work. And we were very, very fortunate that Mick Neustadt was willing to come, volunteer his time, and share his wisdom with us, although he's going to hate me saying that and saying wisdom, because he is very humble. So let me tell you a little bit about Mick, and then I want to turn it over to him. Mick's been practicing meditation and mindfulness since 1995. He came to it at the age of 22, before it was the thing that it is now, as he tried to make some sense of his inner world and the world around him. Over the years, his engagement with mindfulness and meditation grew from that of a solitary practice to one of being involved with various mindfulness groups as both a member and a teacher, which is something he continues to this day. He has a really interesting journey that he's taken that's taken him from Maryland, where he lives, all over the world. He spent 6 months living and practicing meditation in 3 different Buddhist monasteries, as well as 3 months living and practicing in remote monasteries in northern Thailand and Myanmar, and also in the Plum Village Practice Center near Bordeaux, France. Fortunately, he's bringing all that to us. He's been formally teaching mindfulness for the past 10 years to people of all ages and all walks of life. He's a mentor in the Awareness Training Institute's training program. He's a grief and trauma therapist. He's also works with adults, teens, and children who are dealing with grief, loss, and trauma. In addition to all that, he's a licensed psychotherapist in Washington, D.C., and he has a lot of interaction with lawyers. He works at the American University, Washington College of Law, American University with their law students. And he integrates mindfulness to help them as they begin their legal career, and hopefully is turning out lots of mindful, well-adjusted, and present lawyers in his work there. In addition, something that has informed his life, he comes from a family of lawyers. So he's really, really aware of the stresses that come with practicing law. As he has a father, a brother, and a sister who have all done so or continue to do so. So I'd like to turn it over to Mick and let him infuse some calm, peace, and stillness and show us how to do that in our busy lives. Thanks, Mick.
Thank you, Laurie. Good to see everyone. Nice to see some new names and faces this month, in addition to our regular core group. Yeah, good to be with you all. Enjoy being with lawyers and having the opportunity, especially over this past year, to work with so many different groups of people who are in, like helping fields. And I know I kind of see the law work too, especially, some of the work that you all are doing as being, public service and in the helping field. So great to be able to share some mindfulness with you. So today, our focus and kind of on the billboard, it says mindful movement and also mindfulness of the breath. So I think that's a great kind of intro to people's first time with us today. And I guess before we do our mindful movement, I'll just give a really brief background on mindfulness, because there's a lot of mindfulness going around. I feel like it's become such a common word. I was just talking to a group yesterday and remembering that one of the first times that I saw mindfulness used in like a public thing in the newspaper was probably upon like Obama's second inauguration, which I think was 2012. And I remember in the Washington Post, it said that before he walked off the stage into the Capitol, he turned and looked at the thousands of people assembled and had a mindful moment in which he took in the scene, to savor it mindfully. So I remember that being one of the first times I saw the word mindfulness used in, a mainstream setting, and now it's everywhere. So in that vein, so the working definition that I go by, that many people in the mindfulness field go by, is that mindfulness is the act of paying attention to things as they are in the present moment, but also with an aspect of curiosity and kindness and non-judgment. So we're always aware of something. Mindfulness is awareness. We're aware that we're hungry. We're aware that we're hot, we're cold, whatever. But the difference in mindfulness is that it's a choiceful present moment awareness to things as they are, with an aspect of kindness and curiosity. So that's our working definition of mindfulness. So that's what it is. And I think it's also important to talk about what it isn't, because with mindfulness being more and more widespread, there can be misconceptions about what it is and what it isn't. So what it isn't is only calm, peace, and happiness. It's not about just achieving this. Sorry, don't log off. Stay on, stay with us. It's not only about peace and calm. In being present with our lives as they are, our lives as they are aren't always calm and rainbows and roses. There are stressors in the world, so many crazy things going around in the world, and then just our day-to-day juggling family, work, and everything. So it's not only peace and calm and happiness, although as you practice, you may feel more peaceful, more calm. Those things happen. And it's also not, like a magic pill for everything. It's not going to automatically, within 2 weeks, make you be feeling as great as you ever did and everything goes away. And with those things being said, one of the things, I was talking to some people in a group that I do about, what it isn't, and what people came up with. They said, it's not a stress remover, but it's a stress reducer. It's not a stress remover, it's a stress reducer. So it kind of changes, practicing mindfulness can help change your perspective on the stressors in your life. Helps you to respond better to what's going on rather than react, and maybe react in some ways that don't always serve you and serve the people that you're reacting to. So it's not going to remove the stress. Obviously, you're going to have all the stress. You're going to have these triggers that you have in your life. They're not going to magically go away. But with mindfulness practice, it's this being more present with your emotions, with your actions, with your thoughts. With that, you're better able to get in the space between stimulus and response. You're better able to take that mindful pause so that you can move forward in a way that's best for you and best for the people that you're around, whether it's your loved ones or, in work. All right. So I always say that I could go on and talk about it and I'd be bored and you'd be bored. So we want to get a taste for it. So today we're going to start with mindful movement. And mindful movement is just moving and being aware of your body while you're moving. For some people, it can be challenging to sit still and do a meditation practice. And we can be mindful in whatever we do, whether we're grocery shopping, writing an email, we can bring mindfulness to everything. So we're going to do a few mindful movements just to pay attention to our body. And then we'll transition right into a seated mindfulness practice of about 6 or 7 minutes. All right, so with this mindful movement practice, you can do it seated if you want to try it out seated, or you can do it standing up. And it's just slow movements for us to pay attention to our body. So one thing I forgot to say, is probably the most important thing. Mindfulness is not clearing your mind of thoughts. It's not clearing your mind of thoughts. I think way back when that deterred me maybe a little bit from like meditating in a group. I was like, had something in the back of my head. Well, they're going to find out I'm doing it wrong. Somehow they're going to find out that my mind is full of thoughts while we're sitting there. So it's not about clearing your mind of thoughts. So as we do the movements, if your mind wanders, you're just like everybody else, normal, just bring your attention back to the body. And we'll do it together. All right, so if you want to stand up, you can stand up. and screen on or screen off, whichever most comfortable for you. So we're going to do 5 movements together, slow movements that don't take a lot of effort. You won't sweat. So just start by standing up straight with your feet about shoulder distance apart, knees slightly bent. And we'll just swing gently to loosen up the body here. And you can let your hand tap on your lower back like that. That's a point that brings more energy into the body. So keeping the knees bent. And then come up to tap on the chest. This brings energy into the lungs, into the heart. And the next spot, my favorite spot, just tapping on the shoulder, right by the shoulder of the neck. And this actually increases blood flow to the head and to the brain. And then coming back down, chest. And lower abdomen, lower back. And slowing it down. So kind of our neutral position will be palms facing down like this, and knees slightly bent. So let's reconnect here, just bringing your attention down to your feet on the ground. Noticing sensations in your legs, lower legs, upper legs. Letting your attention come to rest right here, right below your belly button, connecting with your breathing. So we'll do each movement 4 times here. So we start here with palms facing down. And if you can, coordinate the movement with your breath. So the first movement, breathing in, pausing at the top, and then settling, breathing out, even bending the knees a little bit as you come down for more grounding. And we pause at the bottom and the top of each movement. In, out. And one more, in and out. And if you want to have your screen on, sometimes it is helpful to look at each other's movements and coordinate our movements in the same rhythm. So if the mind wanders during this practice, which it probably will, one anchor or home base to rest your mind is the palms of your hands. So you can bring attention back to the palms of your hands if you find the mind is active. All right, so second movement will build on the first. So breathing in, breathing out, opening the chest. Breathing in, hugging the air in front of you. And then out, settling down. In, out, in, and these movements are shown to be good to calm the mind and the body, lower blood pressure. And one more, in. And in this pause, just reconnecting with your feet on the ground, with your belly and your breathing. Just noticing how you're feeling in your body, noticing the nature of your mind right now. All right, so we got 3 movements. We're almost halfway there. So the next one, bring your hands out in front of you, kind of like you're holding a beach ball. Again, knees are bent about hips distance apart. So much of the day we spend straightforward, especially now looking at a screen or being in the car. We're often just contained straightforward. So this is a movement for getting a twist and kind of stretching out the spine. So this is called lifting the ball to the moon. So you're holding your ball and then you turn and twist and lift. That's the breathing in. You want breathing out, coming back to center, pausing. A big part of the practice is giving yourself permission to slow down. Notice that you want to rush. See if you can slow it down. And one more in and out. And the palms face down in our neutral position. All right, 2 more movements. So this next one, we bring the palms to face right at the belly button. And this is called separating the clouds. So it's a movement where we're kind of doing some separating of the clouds. Might imagine any fog or cloudiness in front of you being cleared. You're clearing away. So we breathe in and we come up above the head if that's comfortable for you. We separate, palms face down as you come down. Another good movement because it gives us a nice stretch. Open up the body in, palms face down. It's like the sun rising. And one more. And back in our neutral position. All right, so last one, bring our palms to face up, right by our hips. This is the opposite of the separating the clouds. It's sometimes called gathering the heavens or bringing down the heavens. So it's a gathering movement. So our arms come out, we breathe in, we come up, we gather, and then come down the center of the body to the head, to the heart, and then let that relaxation flow down the legs. And one more gathering. And as the hands come down, you can let the hands rest palm over palm right below the belly button and bring your feet close together. Feeling your feet again firmly on the ground. And letting your attention just rest on the belly. You can even close your eyes if you want. And this is sometimes called bamboo swaying in the wind. So if your body feels like swaying a little bit, you can move until you come back to center. Can let the shoulders drop and soften in this position. Let the hands be soft, just releasing some tension from the body. And if the mind is wandering, in these moments, you can bring that attention back to the hands, back to your breathing, right at the belly, right at the belly. So we're going to go right into our seated meditation practice. So we'll do it in silence and just continue the flow of our mindfulness. So as you're ready, you can come down to your seat. And in our seated mindfulness practice, you can do this with your eyes closed if you want, or also with your eyes open, just kind of having your eyes about half open, gazing softly at a spot in front of you, or maybe at a spot on your keyboard. And as we shift to the seated posture, you can bring your attention to the points of contact between your body and your chair. So noticing the sensations of your back, if it's touching the chair behind you. And feeling the sensation of your backside and upper legs in contact with the chair cushion beneath you. Letting your attention come all the way down the legs to feel your feet pressing in the ground. And then bringing your attention all the way back up to your face and your head. Noticing any sensations in your mouth, in your jaw. Noticing if you're holding any tension in the jaw. And just noticing that helps it to relax and soften. You can shine your light of awareness on your eyelids and eyeballs, allowing the eyes to be soft, open or closed, forehead and scalp. And just moving down the body to check in with the shoulders and shoulder blades. Sometimes the body needs time to soften, to settle. And just moving down the front of the body back to your hands, allowing the hands to be soft and relaxed, whether they're on your lap or one hand touching the other. And from the hands, you're close to the belly. You can rest your attention right beneath the belly button. And our practice today is to sit with breathing. To be fully present with each in-breath, each out-breath. And if the mind wanders, totally natural, we just gently, with kindness, bring your mind back to your breathing. if focusing on the belly brings up a feeling of tension or anxiety, you can open your awareness a little bit, feeling the space in front of your body as if you're breathing all of that air right in front of you, rather than a focus that may make you feel constricted. So as you sit for the next 2 minutes, just sitting with an upright spine and a soft belly, which receives each in-breath and lets go of each out-breath. And staying with your breathing for 1 more minute. Easing your way out of the breath awareness and giving yourself any kind of stretch that you need or twist. Having a look around the room. And when you're ready, if you want to turn your screen on too, if you're in a place and feeling like you can, that would be great to see people too. So thank you everyone for giving the mindful movement a try, and also the mindfulness of breathing, whether it was your first time doing those, especially people who are logging on for the first time. It's like, what am I getting myself into? So the mindful movement, just goes to show that we can bring mindfulness to whatever we do. It's not just about sitting and being still. Athletes practice mindfulness in the middle of a 20,000 seat arena, being aware of their movements, whether it's in the game or in practice. Same thing with, any kind of performers, more and more people bringing this mindful awareness to take care of their emotions, to take care of physical sensations. So mindful movement, it's just as valuable as the sitting still. And then the sitting still too is just another form of practice, practicing all these different postures. All right, so we have did something new today. Some of you are joining this particular group for the first time. So I want to step back and open the floor to your voices. Actually, can we just go around once around the circle, and everyone one by one just check in and give us your name and where you're calling in from today. Maybe we'll do alphabetical. We have a lot of M's. So maybe if Jared wants to start, and then we'll go to Melissa and move it on from there. Or Jared, then Crystal, and yeah, JKLM, we've got it all covered. So just name and where you're calling in from. Maybe one word of a word that pops into mind of how you're feeling right now. Just one word.
Jared, calling in from Denver. It's 2 words, more calm. Sorry.
Crystal, I am in Commerce City, Colorado, and I guess decompressed. That's how I feel after that. This is more than one word, but it's amazing how when you focus on certain parts, you feel like you're not tensed up, and then you focus on that part and you're like, oh my God, like my jaw, when you said it, completely just let go a bunch of tension that I had. I feel like that I was holding on to or whatever. So decompress for sure.
I guess I'm next with an L. Lori, calling in from Denver. Centered is my word.
I guess I am next. Melissa, also in Denver. Calm, I guess, would be my word. I like the movement, Mick. I've done a fair amount I've been trying to do more mindful meditation, but I have not done any of the movement things. That was really interesting. Thank you for that.
I absolutely agree. I think I'm next. I'm Miranda. I forced my 9-year-old to do this with me, and we feel better. What do you feel?
Do you want to say hi?
You want to say hi? Come here.
Hi.
She was feeling a little crazy, and now she feels better. So we're calling from Castle Rock. How do you feel? Better? Calm.
And what's your name?
Itzel.
Good to meet you. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I'm Michael, calling from Denver, and I think I just feel stillness, and as Justice Hart said, I hadn't tried the movement before either. I had meditated in the past, but yes, that was really nice.
I'm not sure who's on the phone. It's okay. I think they're muted, Mick.
Okay. Yeah, they look muted. We'll let them chime in when they want. Yeah. Thank you, everyone, for trying those things out. And the movement, a lot of people, there's different postures of meditation. Seated mindfulness, standing. A lot of times after I offer those movements, I ask people if they want to remain standing to do what we did sitting down. Mindful walking is a great practice. When you're walking the dog, you're just walking the dog. You're being present with walking the dog. When you're just having a walk in the neighborhood, you just be fully present with the feeling of your feet on the ground, with your breathing, with the air in the space around you. Bringing the mind into harmony with the body. Being fully present for your life, and especially in the beautiful place where all of you live, being present with what's around you. And the movement too can be so helpful, even in the morning, first thing in the morning. I know that we can, from my own experience, when I know there's a lot of things going on in the day, or maybe it's a residue from the day before, there can be tension already before the day even starts. So this is a great practice to get blood flowing through the body, to also, helps to calm the body and mind. And so many health benefits when it's done like on a regular basis with, 0 to little sweat involved, but a lot of benefit. All right, so that's my plug for mindful movement and different postures. But in the 4 or 5 minutes we have left, I just want to open it up for people if they want to share any more about their experience, what they notice in the mind, what you notice in the body as we did those practices, and then also any questions that came up. So I'm going to step back and open to your voices and reflections.
I really like the difference in moving as opposed to starting sitting. It was really nice to finish with the sitting, but I found that the moving, like just, I don't know if you can say this for mindfulness and meditation, but it kind of kicked it into high gear right away. And sometimes it feels for me, it's a longer runway to like really feel that calm, but I feel like with the movement, it happened kind of right away. So I really like doing that as a change.
Something that I have picked up that I'm much more intentional with it is now in those moments of like chaos or a lot of things happening, I've learned to like pause my brain. And kind of like what you said with Obama stopping and looking, it's in those moments, even the bad chaos, where I'm stopping and saying, okay, like what's really happening, calm down. And so I think that's what these sessions with you, Mick, have helped me with, at least be more intentional about chaotic moments in the good and in the bad, and really learning how to like still myself and think about things so I don't say or do something super emotional or anything. So that I want to say thank you for that. And kind of like you said, those movements this morning really helped push out a lot of stuff I had just kind of built up, tension stuff. So.
Yeah, thank you, Laurie and Crystal. So many people notice that when they do a few movements before they sit, that it's really helpful. It can be kind of like get you on the runway towards settling body and settling body and mind. And then like when I do mindfulness sessions, a lot of times I have people write in the chat what comes to mind when you hear mindfulness. And of course, people say like peace, presence, breathing, and all those things are 100% true. And then yesterday I had a couple people say being mindful of my actions and the consequences, being mindful of emotions. And that really speaks to what Crystal was just sharing, that mindfulness getting kind of expanding the space of it around a situation and being able to be present with what your options are, first taking that barometer of how you feel and then proceeding, thoughtfully and skillfully, like Crystal was talking about.
I gotta say, Mick, I'm on, I think I've meditated for all but 28 days of the last 30. And I will say I have been more focused and productive probably than I've ever been in my life. And I think I do it on the weekends too, even when I'm not working. And I think it has actually kind of made me a better business owner. Just kind of, it's calm in the eye of the hurricane right now, which is awesome. So I just wanted to agree and say thank you. And if everybody's comfortable with it, I think we're right at about 10:45. So I just want to close up and just kind of remind everybody that this is, these great mindfulness sessions are part of LawBank's commitment to wellness, which mirrors the LEJ's commitment to wellness and basic support of the Colorado legal community. These mindfulness trainings really only work if you're consistent. And so consistent practice is essential here. You either make time for illness or you make time for wellness. And, these mindfulness sessions will help you increase your work performance, lower your stress, reduce anxiety, be generally nicer, all kinds of things. So cheers to that. And thanks again to everyone that spent the last 45 minutes with us. I hope you feel super zen and calm like I do. And we will see you in August for the next one.